There is a power most people never learn. It's not in speaking louder, winning arguments, or reacting faster. It is the quiet power of staying calm when everything around you tries to break your peace. If you've ever felt pulled into drama, controlled by anger, or trapped by someone else's words, this video is for you. Today we're going to explore lessons that can change the way you live. They'll help you protect your peace. Let go of ego and discover that true strength lives in stillness. This is not just advice. It's a new way of moving through life. So take a breath and let's begin. Lesson 1. Master the pause before you react. Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it just minutes later? Maybe you shouted at a friend, or you snapped at your family, or you sent a message you wished you could delete. That feeling of regret comes from reacting too fast. We act before thinking. We speak before reflecting. And once those words are out, we cannot take them back. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine that same moment, but instead of reacting, you stop. You take a deep breath. You pause for just a few seconds. In those seconds, you give yourself space. You give yourself control. You give yourself freedom. That is the power of the pause. Let me give you a picture. Imagine you are driving. Someone cuts in front of you suddenly. Your first impulse? Anger? Maybe you shout. Maybe you honk the horn. Maybe your whole day feels ruined. But what if, instead, you pause? You take one breath in, one breath out. You remind yourself, maybe they are rushing to the hospital. Maybe they're just having a bad day. And then you keep driving. Which version of you will feel better at the end of the day? The angry one? Or the calm one who chose peace? Psychologists tell us that emotions like anger only last about 90 seconds if we don't feed them. That means if you can pause for just a minute and a half, breathe, wait, stay still, the anger will pass. But if you jump into reaction, the anger grows. It grows into fights, into stress, into pain. So the pause is not weakness. It is strength. It is the difference between regret and wisdom. You don't need to answer right away. You don't need to fight back. You don't need to prove anything. The pause gives you the freedom to choose a better way. Think of the pause as your shield. It protects you from saying things you don't mean. It protects your relationships from unnecessary damage. It protects your heart from stress and regret. And over time, when you practice pausing, people will notice. They will see you as calm. They will see you as strong. They will see you as someone who cannot be shaken easily. So remember this. Reacting is easy. Anyone can do it. But pausing is powerful. Master the pause, and you master your reactions. Master your reactions, and you master your life. Lesson 2. Respond. Don't react. There is a big difference between reacting and responding. At first, they might look the same. Both involve action. Both involve words or choices. But when you look deeper, you'll see that they come from two very different places. Reacting comes from impulse. Responding comes from intention. Let me explain. Imagine someone insults you. They call you a name, or they mock something you did. Your reaction is immediate. You fire back. You defend yourself. Maybe you even attack them with your own insult. That's reacting. It is automatic, fast, and emotional. Now imagine the same situation again. Someone insults you, but this time, you stop. You take a breath. You ask yourself, do I really need to answer this? What's the best thing to do here? And then you choose calmly. Maybe you reply with a clear, strong sentence. Maybe you choose silence. Maybe you simply walk away. That is responding. It is thoughtful, slow, and intentional. Do you see the difference? Reacting feels good in the moment. It's like scratching an itch. It gives you a short burst of satisfaction. But often, it creates bigger problems. Arguments grow, relationships break, stress increases. Responding, on the other hand, protects your long-term peace. It doesn't give you that quick emotional release, but it gives you dignity. It gives you respect, and it leaves you in control. Think of it this way. Reacting is like being a puppet. Someone else pulls the strings, and you move. Responding is like being the master of your own actions. You choose what to say. You choose what to do. Which one do you want to be? The puppet, controlled by everyone around you? Or the master, steady and calm, choosing your own path? In that slow motion, ask yourself, what outcome do I want here? If I react, will I regret it later? If I respond calmly, will this help me more in the long run? Once you have your answer, then act. That's a response. Let's make it practical with a real-world example. You're at work. Your coworker criticizes your idea in front of everyone. Your first impulse is to snap back. Well, your ideas aren't so great either. That's reacting. It feels good for a second, but it makes you look defensive. Now, let's look at the response. You pause. You take a breath. You say calmly, "Thank you for your feedback. Can you explain what parts you disagree with? I'd like to understand better." What happens now? You stay professional. You stay calm. And most importantly, you stay in control. That is the power of responding. Remember this. Reacting comes from ego. Responding comes from wisdom. Reacting is fast, but weak. Responding is slow, but strong. When you respond instead of react, you take the higher ground. You show maturity. You show strength. And you keep your peace of mind intact. So here's your challenge. This week, look for one situation where you normally react quickly. Maybe it's when someone cuts you off in traffic. Maybe it's when your child doesn't listen. Maybe it's when a friend makes a joke at your expense. In that moment, press the pause button. Take a breath, and choose to respond instead. It may feel difficult at first, but with practice, it becomes natural. And when it becomes natural, you'll notice something amazing. Your life feels calmer, your relationships improve, and people begin to respect your steadiness. So don't just react, respond, because your response is your power. Lesson 3. Protect your peace of mind. Your peace of mind is priceless. It is the calmness inside you, the balance that keeps you steady no matter what is happening outside. But here's the truth. If you are not careful, the world will take it away from you. Every day, people, situations, and even small events can disturb your inner calm. A rude comment, a delayed train, an unexpected bill. If you allow each of these things to shake you, your peace will disappear. That is why you must learn to protect it. Peace of mind is not given. It is built. It is defended. Think about this. When someone throws a stone into a lake, the water moves in waves. But eventually, the surface becomes calm again. Your mind works the same way. Problems, stress, and negativity will disturb you. But you can choose how quickly you return to calmness. If you react wildly, your lake stays stormy. If you respond with patience, the water settles faster. Here's an example. Imagine you are driving and someone cuts in front of you. Reaction. You shout, you honk, you let anger control you. Your whole day feels ruined. Response. You notice your anger rise, but you take a breath. You remind yourself, my peace is more important than this moment. and you let it go. Which one keeps your mind healthy? The answer is clear. Protecting your peace does not mean avoiding problems. It means meeting them with strength. It means saying, I will not give away my calmness so easily. You do this by setting boundaries. You do this by practicing patience. You do this by reminding yourself that not everything deserves your reaction. Here's a small challenge for you. The next time you feel disturbed, imagine your peace of mind as a valuable treasure. Before you react, ask yourself, is this worth losing my treasure? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Peace of mind is your responsibility. Don't hand it away to anyone. Don't let small events control your whole mood. Protect it. Guard it. Value it. Lesson 4. Silence is often the best answer. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. We live in a world that pushes us to speak, to argue, to prove ourselves right every time. But wisdom often whispers, stay silent. Think about arguments you've had in the past. Did speaking more always make the situation better? Or did it add more fire to the flames? Silence is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. Silence is choosing not to waste your energy on battles that do not matter. Here's a picture to hold in your mind. Two people are shouting at each other in the street. Their voices are loud, their faces red. Now imagine one of them suddenly stops. They don't shout back. They simply stand there, calm, quiet. What happens? The fight loses power. The noise has nothing to push against. The silence speaks louder than words. This is the beauty of silence. It doesn't mean you have no answer. It means your answer's deeper than words can reach. It tells the other person, you cannot disturb my inner world. I choose peace over noise. But silence takes strength. It's not easy to bite your tongue when someone insults you. It's not easy to remain calm when you feel misunderstood. Yet every time you succeed, you grow stronger. Here's a simple practice. When you feel pressure to respond instantly, pause. Instead of speaking, let silence fill the space. Count to 3 in your mind. Ask yourself, does this need an answer? Or is silence enough? You'll be surprised how often silence ends the conflict faster than any words. Let's make it real. At work, a colleague makes a sarcastic comment about you. The easy path? Fire back with your own sarcasm, but imagine instead you simply smile, stay silent, and continue with your task. That silence shows confidence. It shows you don't need to fight for approval. Silence can disarm criticism. Silence can protect your peace. Silence can be the most intelligent response in the room. Lesson 5. Choose logic over emotion. Emotions are powerful. They rise quickly, they hit hard, and they can take control before you even realize it. Anger, fear, jealousy, pride. These feelings can blind you. They make you say things you regret. They push you into choices you wouldn't make if you were calm. That's why wisdom teaches us. Pause, and let logic take the driver's seat. Think of your emotions as wild horses. They are strong, but without control, they run in every direction. Logic is the rider who holds the reins. Without logic, the horses drag you into chaos. With logic, their strength is guided and useful. Here's a clear example. Imagine you receive a message late at night from a friend. The words feel cold, maybe even disrespectful. Your emotion rises. Why would they say that? You feel hurt, maybe angry. The reaction, you type back quickly, something sharp, something you'll regret tomorrow. But if you pause, logic steps in. Logic says, maybe they were tired. Maybe I misunderstood the tone. Maybe I should wait until morning to respond. Now, instead of a fight, you protect the friendship. That's the power of logic over emotion. Choosing logic doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. Your emotions are signals. They tell you something is happening inside, but they are not always the truth. Emotion is the spark. Logic is the guide. Here's a practice you can use. When you feel your emotions taking over, ask yourself 3 questions. Is what I'm feeling based on facts or just assumptions? If I act on this feeling now, will I regret it later? What choice will protect my peace of mind tomorrow? Even asking these questions slows you down. It gives logic space to enter. Look back at your life. How many mistakes came from moments when emotion won? How many wise choices came when logic had time to speak? If you can learn to pause, to check your feelings with reason, you'll see your life become calmer, your relationships stronger, and your decisions wiser. So remember this: emotions make you human. Logic makes you wise. When you let logic lead, your emotions don't control you. They serve you. And that is a sign of real strength. Lesson 6. Don't let others control your mood. Have you ever noticed how easily other people can change the way you feel? One rude comment, and suddenly your whole day feels ruined. One careless action, and you're angry for hours. It's as if you've given them the keys to your emotions. But here's the truth. No one should have that kind of power over you. Your mood belongs to you. Imagine this. You wake up happy, full of energy. You go outside and someone cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, anger floods in. For the rest of the morning, you're irritated, distracted, tense. What happened? You allowed a stranger, someone you don't even know, to decide how your day feels. Why give them that much control? Here's another way to look at it. Your mood is like your home. Would you let just anyone walk in and rearrange your furniture? Of course not. So why let random people rearrange your emotions? Taking back control starts with awareness. The next time someone says or does something that bothers you, notice your first reaction. Then pause and remind yourself, this is their behavior, not my mood. I choose how I feel. It may sound simple, but it's powerful, because the moment you realize you have a choice, you stop being a prisoner of other people's actions. Here's a practical exercise. When someone irritates you, instead of reacting, silently say to yourself, I will not give you my peace. My mood is mine, not yours. Then take one slow breath in, one slow breath out. This small pause is like closing the door to protect your inner world. Of course, this doesn't mean ignoring every emotion. It means filtering them. It means asking, do I want to carry this feeling with me all day? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Remember this: people can try to disturb you. Situations can test you. But the final decision is always yours. Don't hand your happiness away so easily. Don't let strangers or small events decide how you feel. Hold the keys to your mood in your own hands, because the one who controls their emotions controls their life. Lesson 7. Let go of ego. So much of our struggle comes from the ego. That little voice inside that always wants to be right, to be respected, to be admired. The ego says, they can't talk to me like that. The ego says, I must win this argument. The ego says, everyone should see how important I am. But here's the truth. The ego is never satisfied. No matter how much you feed it, it always wants more. And the more you listen to it, the less peace you have. Think of the last argument you had. Was it really about the issue? Or was it about your ego wanting to prove you were right? Most conflicts are not about truth. They are about pride. Letting go of ego doesn't mean lowering yourself. It doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It means being free from the constant need to defend and prove. Sometimes, walking away from an argument is not weakness. It's wisdom. Sometimes, not needing the last word is a sign of strength. Here's a picture to hold in your mind. Two people are pulling on a rope, each side refusing to let go. That's the ego at work. Endless struggle, endless tension. But the moment you release the rope, the fight ends. Not because you lost, but because you chose peace over pride. Here's a practice. The next time you feel that burning urge to win, pause and ask yourself, is this my ego talking? Or is this truly important? Most of the time, you'll realize it's only your ego. And once you see that, you can choose to let go. Examples make it clear. A friend forgets to thank you for something. Ego says, they don't respect me. But wisdom says, maybe they were distracted. My value doesn't depend on their words. A co-worker gets credit for an idea. Ego says, that should have been mine. But wisdom says, recognition is temporary. What matters is that I keep doing good work. Remember this. The ego wants control. But when you let it go, you gain freedom. You stop fighting unnecessary battles. You stop carrying unnecessary weight. Lesson 8. Build inner strength through stillness. In a noisy world, stillness is rare. We are always moving, always talking, always reaching for the next distraction. But true inner strength is built in the moments of quiet. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is power. It is the space where you gather your thoughts, calm your emotions, and return to yourself. Think about a tree in the middle of a storm. The wind is strong, the rain is heavy, the branches shake. But deep below the surface, the roots are steady. That stability comes from stillness. Your mind works the same way. If you want strength that cannot be shaken by every problem, you need to develop deep roots of calm. But here's the challenge. Many people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill every pause with words, music, or noise. Yet it is in silence that your inner strength grows. Try this simple exercise. Each day, take just 5 minutes to sit quietly. No phone, no music, no talking. Just breathe and be still. At first it may feel strange, but over time, that stillness will feel like home. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing things with calm awareness. Walking slowly and noticing each step. Drinking tea without checking your messages. Listening fully when someone speaks, without planning your reply. These small moments of stillness strengthen your mind. They train you to remain calm when life becomes chaotic. Here's a real example. Imagine a heated meeting where everyone is talking over each other. The person who sits calmly, listens, and speaks only when ready. That person has the most influence. Why? Because stillness gives weight to their words. It shows strength that noise cannot imitate. Muscles are built in the gym, but inner strength is built in silence. The more you practice stillness, the less the outside world can shake you. In stillness, you discover balance. In stillness, you discover strength. And in stillness, you discover yourself. So remember this, reacting is easy. Anyone can do it. But pausing is powerful. Master the pause, and you master your reactions. Master your reactions, and you master your life. That's it for today's growth. Until next time, one step, one lesson, big growth.